how we feeling about the market. I gotta always ask at the beginning of
Right.
every show, man.
I'm kind of hopeful. Right now, it's kind of stagnant on what I see. I know we got a few things coming up this week. I know the Ripple video come out this week. I think the well, it's not FMOC, but inflation numbers come out this week, and something else happened this week. So I think it's gonna be an eventful week, nonetheless. Right now we're kind of in a pull. Well, I wouldn't even say we're in a pullback. I mean, I guess we would be because Bitcoin at 100,000 a month. But probably tomorrow we should start getting back up in numbers. That's just my take on it so far.
Yeah, I mean, I don't just kind of gotta wait and see. You know, that 100,000, that's a big number, and just for me personally, looking at it, it's kind of just consolidating, which is to be expected. So, I mean, overall, man, personally, I'm kind of like leaning more towards trying to just stick to like if Bitcoin gets like to the 120, 150 range, that's probably where I'll start looking maybe myself to exit, I think. Because I don't really think it's gonna go too much further than that, at least this cycle. And I've been looking at. So yeah, man, I think like so basically, I was on a Reddit crypto strain with a bunch of them. I don't remember what the backslash R was, but it was with a lot of people that had been in the market for like 3 cycles. And kind of like a lot of them was saying that they was all kind of saying like that they were thinking 120, 150 for Bitcoin is basically the range that they were planning on jumping out of the market at because they just don't think that it's going to have too much more to go. So most people were saying 120, 150, and then in terms of like date or timeline, if not price point, they were saying around like Marchish, February, Marchish is kind of where they would be looking to jump out, and that's the same. My cousin told me March, so that's kind of like how I kind of feel about the market as a whole. I do still think Bitcoin has upwards momentum, like some more room to go up. I just don't really know how much. I don't really think we could see 200 though, to be honest with you. Not this cycle.
Yeah,
What?
I don't think we gonna see 200 this cycle. I think it's possible we could see a little bit more than 150, and then it just come crashing down. Then another thing, I think before we even get to 120, 150 area, that it can have a significant pullback, kind of
Me
like
too.
maybe to that range that we was talking about, 66, 75, in that range. So that's my outlook. Just by looking at technicals, like looking at the chart, there's still no major structure being made on the weekly chart. Let me just pull up the weekly chart.
Well, that candlestick on the weekly ain't looking so great.
So they're talking about March of next year,
Yeah, 2025.
and that's when everything starts to start popping off. If they would have said
Let me
March of
see.
next year,
Well, that's when you want to
I mean
get.
not
Well,
next
that's
year,
when you.
2026.
Well, that's when you want to get out.
No, I'm talking
Well,
about
see,
2026.
March of you see where this red line is. March of next year is where this red line is, and that could bring us to that pullback area of 73 to 66, and then we could see another run from there to maybe the 120 to 150 that you was talking about. It's like Charles said,
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna be time to exit in March of next
Yeah,
year,
not next
but
year, no.
it might be time to like buy in again if it gets back down to this area,
Yeah, now
because
if
that'll
that's
just
the
Yeah.
be a
case,
pullback to like a break and retest.
right.
We might
That
see
part I
something
can
like,
understand. Yeah, because we
something
ain't
like
even
that.
really ran for real yet. We ain't even got to the summertime. That's when the real fun happens.
And then
So I mean, here's the thing. I know I think that's a little bit optimistic because if you actually look at the chart,
it's 120,
we've definitely ran a lot. Like if you think about the whole cycle, Bitcoin
50.
was at Bitcoin was at like 16K not but 2 years ago, bro. So like to think we haven't ran yet is crazy when we've already seen a 10x in Bitcoin this bull cycle, 100%. We've already seen a 10x. So personally, that's why I'm targeting that 120, 150 range, and why if it does hit like 120 or 150 at March, like I'm cool with that. I'm cool with what I'll have profited. But if you just like comparing historical data and how much Bitcoin's already ran up, it's already done a 10x. It's already 10x because it was at like 16 a few years ago. and it's just been bull since then. So I know, the sentiment from some people has been like, oh, we have so much more to go. But then, like, the sentiment has also been like, we've already ran. And if I get a chance to cash out, like, cool, I'll cash out and be liquid. If I enter back in the market, I enter back in. But I'm definitely not going to get caught waiting for something to happen after we've already seen a 10x in the market. I would rather just play on the safe side when we've already seen so much gain on Bitcoin this bull.
I mean,
Because a
I
10x is
understand.
a lot, bro.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a lot.
I'm not refuting that at all. I guess what I'm factoring in, what makes this cycle different from the other past cycles, historically, is the fact of more adoption. The past cycles has been mainly retail driven, right? This go round, especially starting Q1 of next year, a lot of these companies are going to be voting with their shareholders whether they need to put Bitcoin on their reserve. If they're only going to get exposures through these ETFs like Larry Fink talk about, then we got BlackRock and other companies that own these ETFs that's going to be buying up Bitcoin to drive the price up. So on crypto Twitter, that's why they're categorizing this cycle as a super cycle. I think everybody's right, but in the sense of us not knowing how high it's going to go because a lot of people are not factoring in institutional money on a grander scale. Because that's supposed to be happening this week. Microsoft supposed to be voting whether they're going to actually add a Bitcoin reserve on their books. So if it doesn't get approved, then 9 times out of 10, they're going to circle back for Q1 of next year to get it approved because a lot of these shareholders going to want exposure to that at the rate that we're going with inflation. Now, that's just my own personal sentiments. Like I said, everybody could be right as far as the run up. So I can see that stands on taking a conservative approach. Hey, we're already 10x. Let me take my money off the table and see what's what. If it pulls back, I get back in. But I personally think that we have a lot more to go because we haven't even gotten into next year yet, for real. And the bull run has somewhat started, but not like really taken off for real, for real. And let's not even forget, we ain't even got to alt yet.
Man, I read like an article. I don't know where I was reading it. I can't really remember. But Michael Saylor, he kept saying, man, he buying Bitcoin at the top. And like Charles was saying, these last few bull runs or these last few cycles been powered by retail. He keep buying in. We got BlackRock coming in. We got Google trying to decide whether they want to put it on their
Microsoft,
books. You got
right?
Trump's campaign coming in, pro crypto. So there's a lot of different variables that can still like run it to 150,
Super
maybe
cycle,
beyond that.
right?
Yeah, my only thing with that though is, of course he's gonna say that, bro. I mean, if I was, of course he's. What is he gonna get on the news and say something? Not say so. Oh, I'm not gonna keep buying at the top, bro. His whole company is based off investing on Bitcoin, so of course he's gonna get on the news and say, I'm gonna keep buying Bitcoin. He's not gonna say any. He's not gonna say anything to hurt his company's investment if he wants to keep his position in the company. Like, I mean, that's his job, bro. Like, he gets paid to do that. So and you know this too, Jay. Like, bro, I'm not listening to nothing that's on the news, bro. Like, besides like things about Bitcoin or things like that, or like a company. Like, for the most part though, like, I'm not really trying to pay attention to the news. Well, I do pay attention to the news, but you know what I mean by that.
Nah,
You
yeah, I
just kind of have
get
to,
what you're
yeah,
saying.
you got to take it with a grain of salt. And like, and like, when you do look historically at, even if this is a super cycle, so let's say it is a super cycle, who knows what a super cycle means? But the last cycle, 2020, Bitcoin went from, like, I'm just looking at the chart on my phone. Bitcoin went from the $3,000 mark up to 63,000. So that's a little bit more than the 10x, right? And then it dipped down, and then it went up to like 70. So we've already seen that exact same gain we've already seen that exact same gain that it did on the last bull cycle right now. We've already seen that exact same thing. So if it repeats anything like it's done before, like y'all are saying it's going to do, it's going to dip down and come back up. So all I'm saying is, I don't really, if I cannot personally, like, if you can hold for sure, but like, if it hits 120, I don't really know what's going to happen. It could keep going and I could sell. and maybe I like regret it or whatever, but like I'll be able to take that money and use it for something else to invest somewhere
Nah,
else.
definitely. If you bought at the bottom, bro, take some
Yeah, get
profits, bro. That's
for,
you know what I'm saying.
yeah,
I know you talking in terms of I guess you start buying in like around 16K. Yeah, it's
got to, bro.
100K, 120. It's definitely time to take some profit out the table and let the rest just run. You know what I'm saying? So,
For
Got to,
sure.
bro. So I probably wouldn't sell all of my Bitcoin. I would probably keep some, but like you have at some point, you know what I'm saying? Like you just have to realize, like if I'm at a 10x on anything, bro, I'm like, I mean, which crypto's a little different, but if I'm at a 10x, I'm like, yo, I gotta realize some of these profits. Like I can't just keep this here unless you just planning on holding it long term forever, which that could be the case too. But that's just like I gotta make a little more money because otherwise that money that I got that could like make a significant impact on my life and lifestyle. If it hits 120, I cash that out, use that to invest in like a house or a business, something that's gonna actively make me some more money off rip, which is kind of like the goal. Like I wouldn't just be cashing it out just to like have it. I would take it and use it to like try to invest in a business so I can have something that's like making me more money.
some cash flow
Um,
coming in.
Exactly, bro. Some cash, try to get some cash out a little bit, not a little bit, probably like more than 50%, to try to get some more cash flow. But yeah, honestly, if it does go past 150, I wouldn't be surprised. So like if we do see like a 15x, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't really know if it's gonna 20, but it's all speculation, bro. Like I definitely think 120, 150, like that's for sure, right? Like I think that's for sure. And it could definitely go past that. And even if it did hit 200, it could. I just don't think it will, but it definitely could with all of the stuff that you feel me. Y'all was talking about the retail and everything else. So
I'm gonna say, being like I said, optimistic about it. At best, with institutions buying, we touch 200 by October of 2025. See another pullback. It tried to go back up to two, but it probably ranges about 150, 160. But March of 2026, we start to see that downward trend, which starts the bear market. And that's where the real money is made, especially if you're trading, to kind of ride that wave back down, maybe into that the $50,000 range, if not more. It all depends on how much the institutions are going to let it go down, because at the end of the day, like I said, with them having exposure to it, they might not let it tank that much because they losing money out on it, and they're not in the game of losing money. So I think this cycle is definitely going to be different because, like I said, the past couple cycles have been retail driven. This one, you got brother Sam, Big Brother putting his money down on the table, despite whatever politicians say. And it's not just the United States that's buying Bitcoin. You got these other countries that are buying billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. And compared to trillions, billions is not much, but after a while that does start to add up. So I would say if people are taking it from a trading aspect, of what you said, Brandon, in regards of taking profit off the table, if you got in, at a lower price point. But for most of our viewers, if I'm being honest, they're just not getting into this market. And a lot of the rest of our viewers is not going to buy their first Bitcoin until they get their taxes. So we got to factor that in for the viewers who are watching that's on the sidelines, because there's still a lot of
Yeah, that
people
make a lot
that
of
are on the
sense.
sidelines. So if you're getting in past the $100,000 range, you want to, one, before you even invest, you need a strategy. You need to know what you're building towards. You need to know if you're going to save this money in dollars, if you're going to save it in Bitcoin, if you're in the short term or long term. Because the worst thing to do is sell your Bitcoin only to have to buy back in and get less and you paying more. So a 50-50 approach is, I mean, you can say that, and the 50 you cash out, you pay your 30 to Uncle Sam, you keep 20, or however you finesse it. I'm not a tax advisor. And you basically put that other 50 in a cold wallet and you don't touch that shit and just let that go down. It's going to drop down a whole lot. Don't panic sell. Keep it. Add more to that. And then when the cycle repeats itself again, then you're able to take more profit. If you want to go even more advanced, shit, you can borrow against the Bitcoin that you have, take out a loan to pay off whatever debt you have, and you still have that appreciating asset So when the price does go back up, you're able to pay back those loans or put into, like you said, other cash flow investments. That way you still got your Bitcoin, you still got capital to invest in into your cash flow. You use some of that cash flow, put back in your pocket, pay your loan back off, and then do whatever else you want to do, reinvest or whatever. And you kind of keep yourself level without stretching yourself too thin. Because that selling pressure gonna be is gonna be crazy. But that's just my take on it. Like I said, I've done this so many times. So for those who watching that has not gotten into Bitcoin yet, when you do get in, please understand that you need a exit strategy. You need a game plan because just buying in and selling it only to later on 4 years down the line buy back in, but at a higher price point, it defeats the purpose.
Yeah, for sure. And what I'll kind of just say on that is if you're just now looking to get into the market, you're better off honestly just waiting, just to keep it.
Hmm.
So that's, hey man, you could disagree, that's
I guess
fine.
that's
I
This is
mean,
just
subjective.
this is why there's multiple
oh,
people
of
on
course,
here,
of
bro.
course, of
So
course.
right, in my opinion, you're better off waiting. And I've been holding off on continuing to put money into Bitcoin personally, because I'm not buying something while it's on the way, after it's gone on a crazy run, period, point blank. I'm trying to wait and see what the next trend is going to be. After Bitcoin consolidates here, then if it starts going up again, cool. Like maybe that would be a good time. Bitcoin just hit 100K and it's consolidating, it's not a smart time to look to start an investment in Bitcoin unless you're 100% okay with losing that money, which if you're a new investor, you probably won't be. If you've never invested before and you see your investment drop by 30% and you've never experienced that before, it's going to be a little different, right? Even for somebody that's been invested for a while, that's tough to watch and it's tough to be okay with. So we all know more than likely, I feel like we're all in agreement that it's going to dip. And I feel like the market as a whole feel like it's going to dip. So you would be better off saving your money and letting Bitcoin dip because I don't think it's not going to dip.
I think.
So
I think.
that's
Go ahead. My bad. I'm interrupting you.
yeah, that's the first point. And then on the loan piece, number two, also would not recommend that to somebody that's new in investing because if Bitcoin does dip and you take a loan against that investment, then you're going to have to pay while Bitcoin dips. And that number is going to go up and up and up, the interest that you'll have to pay on that loan while Bitcoin dips. So if you are looking at taking a loan against Bitcoin, you just need to be sure that you know what you're doing and you're careful because as the value of Bitcoin dips, that will change how your loan with that Bitcoin works. So those are all things like that for new investors. I wouldn't recommend taking out a loan against Bitcoin unless you know what you're doing, because that's like advanced. If you know what you're doing, you read everything, you read up on how that loan will get affected when Bitcoin drops, and you have money set aside to pay that, then cool. But if you don't, like it's just could be it is risky. So those are just the two things. And then of course, everything we're talking about is just stuff that we're personally thinking about doing and what we have done in the past. This isn't like we're not giving you guys financial advice or anything. We're just telling you guys like our investment strategies and how we go about using our money in the markets.
I mean, I kind of agree with both of y'all ideologies in a sense, cause what I'm doing, I'm just building up my bags on the altcoin side, cause we really haven't went into the altcoin season as of yet, and we just see this big Bitcoin run. So for people who want to get in Bitcoin, like Brandon was saying, you might want to wait for the pullback, and while you're doing that, you could be stacking your altcoin bags. Then when those take a run, maybe you take a percentage and put that into Bitcoin when it dips. That's my perspective on how the market for people that's just beginning. Because the average person don't have 100K to put into Bitcoin, and the percentage gain is not going to make sense if you put nothing there.
Nah,
And I
that's
understand that. I mean, I guess I'm speaking from the terms of the people who ain't looked at a chart, don't know what none of this is. They got their tax money in their hand, is burning a hole in it. They want to invest. So when I say, I guess when I disagree and say, well, don't buy anything at all and just hold back. I know those people, money is burning a hole in their pockets. So if they're not disciplined enough to say, okay, well, I'm gonna save and wait for a pullback. They don't know what a pullback is. So that's who I'm talking about when I say, hey, to go ahead and get some exposure to it. Yeah, it's going to dip. That's part of the game. And 30% is light work compared to 70% drop. But if you're holding it long term for the average new investor, you gonna get burned. Like it's part of the game. There's no way of that. No one can time the market. We can chart up 1,000 charts a day. We don't know what's going to change the market sentiments besides the factors that we have, which is retail and institutions, and even that we still don't know what it looked like. Like you said earlier, we're still speculating. So when I disagree in regards of when you said about waiting, I'm talking to the person, to the single mother with some kids, or the single father out there with some kids that's trying to build something for himself, that needs to get into this and at least learn. Don't put, if you get $10,000 back in your tax money, don't put the full 10 in there thinking, yeah, it's gonna go up. No, take some of that, reinvest in yourself to gain some financial literacy, understand the markets, and then take a holistic approach to that. But those who are not going to do that, hey, set a little bit of money to the side to get used to that. Get your reps in, is what I'm saying.
I mean, they don't gotta to lose money to do that though, bro. That's all I'm saying. Like they don't. So number one, if money's burning a hole in their pocket and they feel like they gotta spend it, then they don't. Then they're already at a loss, point blank. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't feed into that mentality when you start investing. We're trying to change that mentality. We're not trying to grow the mentality of, oh, I have money burning a hole in my pocket and Bitcoin's going up. That's feeding into the wrong investing psychology. That's not teaching people the correct psychology they need to have when they're investing. Because investing as a whole is about patience, bro. It's about knowing what you want to do, when you want to do it, and picking the right time to enter the market. Or you just take a little bit over a long period of time. So like if you're gonna do that, then like okay, cool, $5, $10. But like if you just got your tax return and you're putting money on Bitcoin in a bull market and you think your money's going to grow, then honestly you're getting ready to take a massive L that you didn't have to take if you had just took a step back, watch the markets for a little, learn the markets first, and then go from there. And I speak on that just really from experience, bro. I speak on that from me dabbling in forex and me using real money on forex while I'm watching bro up here Jay trading the demo account. You feel me? Understanding the market, learning how to actually trade, learning the actual market psychology. And could I have made some money trading live? 100%. Did I make any money? No. I lost a ton of money, bro. So it would have been smarter if I had did what Jay did and demo traded, learn the market psychology
Hey, truth be
before
told,
using live money.
I'm still losing money in the market trading. Long term
Probably
stocks,
not as much as I was.
long term crypto portfolios is looking good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But hey, man, look, I agree with both of y'all saying. I would
I
tell
think you
people
got.
go to and type in the Ledger Lounge podcast and go watch that. You know what I'm saying? Cause hey, they got some
They
good shit
watching
over
it
there.
now, bro.
You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Yeah,
You
but
gotta reinforce that. You know what I'm saying?
bro, I think what you said, Jay, is like the right. If you like really are, if it's like money's burning a hole in your pocket right now, you got to do something with it. The right move would probably be at this present time. Like if I had money burning a hole in my pocket, it would be to put it in altcoins. That's what I would do right now. If money was burning a hole in my pocket and I had to do something with it, because when Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go up. Like that's literally just how that works. So that would be the move. If you do put it in the altcoins and Bitcoin does go up and you have any gain, then you would want to like maybe move it over to Bitcoin, blah blah blah. But like yeah. But I think we kinda all saying the same thing, just like a little bit just like in a little bit different ways.
Yeah, we're each talking to different
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
audience people. More disciplined people understand exactly what you're saying. I'm mainly speaking to the people that I talk to on a daily basis that don't know anything and that's just trying to get exposure to it. So, like you said, we're basically saying the same thing to different audiences in their terms. So I get why saying, hey, don't feed into this. But one thing I've learned from my personal experiences, people gonna be people, bro. I can sit here and try to teach them how to fish all day, and if they want to use worms instead of crickets, hey, it is what it is. So that's where I'm coming from when I say what I say with that. In regards
Nah,
to if you burning a hole in your pockets, like people gonna do what they're gonna do. So I can't change that no matter what we teach. You know what I'm saying? And I understand the sentiments of, hey, well, if you ain't disciplined, then you really shouldn't be doing it. Everybody don't think like that.
Still got to keep teaching them, even if the student doesn't listen. You still have to keep teaching the right stuff, bro.
I can't be a teacher to somebody who ain't trying to learn. So they're doing what they're gonna
That's
do.
hey,
different.
I agree. I kind of agree with Charles because it's like this, man. Like you can teach market psychology all day. It's just like right here, like on this other whiteboard that I got sitting beside me. I got a whole trading plan. But if my psychology is not right, I can tell you, hey, don't be greedy, don't over leverage, don't over trade, don't put too much money in it. But I can't hold your hand, or I can't
Right,
slap your hand when you finna pick up that phone
right.
and buy Bitcoin at 100K. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I guess we just different because I'm not going. Even if somebody doesn't listen to what I think is the right way, I'm not gonna lead somebody today. I'm not gonna lead somebody down a path that I know is going to bring them to a pitfall. If they decide to walk down that path on their own after I've given them the correct knowledge, that's on them. There's nothing I could do to control what somebody does, but I'm not going to give them information to help them continue walking down a path into their pitfall. I'm going to continue to feed them the right information of what they should do and how they need to act and how they need to grow. And if they receive it, cool. That's the person I continue to feed into. If they don't receive that, then they just going to keep going about their own way. And I'm going to just keep getting across the right information.
Right, but it's going to come full circle because you let them know, hey, you can listen to what I'm saying, it's going to get you this, or you can keep doing what you're doing, and this is going to happen. And you leave it up to that person to make their decision, but you rest in knowing that you told them both outcomes. That's where I'm coming from. That's why I say people are going to do what people do. You could teach them how to fish all day long. And if they decide they want to use worms instead of crickets, and you say, hey, these crickets is going to get you more fish, they won't learn until they go off on their own and they lose and break a bunch of fishing lines to get to, all right, man, well, maybe I should listen to Charles. Maybe I should listen to Brandon and use crickets this time. So that's all I'm saying, man. It just comes a full circle, and you got to give people that option. So I'm not refuting what you're saying. I'm just saying, hey, give them the whole pie. Hey, if you do this, it's gonna happen this way. If you do this, it's gonna happen to this. It's up to you, because I'm not gonna hold your hand. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
Everybody ain't
man.
as disciplined as you, Brandon.
Market psychology, bro. Market psychology it can hurt you. If you don't get right with the greed, with the fear, with the FOMO, with all these different aspects of the market. I think it's good for people to lose money in the market just so they can learn.
It builds character.
Yeah, definitely. Like, cause I lost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money trading. Right, it just had me to go back and re-strategize and assess my system of what am I doing wrong, because if I didn't never gain that data of losing, then I wouldn't know where, okay, let me not do this, let me not do it. Even it don't even matter. It don't matter who I was listening to for the market psychology. It's all on me. See what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
What's the next topic,
Well, I guess we talked about Bitcoin, so
man?
perfect segue.
Right?
Okay, I think the next topic was a market cap. So I think
Yeah.
Brandon, on the last episode you kind of touched on that.
Professor
Maybe we
Brandon,
can get
you
like a
have the floor
deeper
now.
explanation of market cap and the best way to enter the market.
Break it
Yeah,
down.
well, I think we just kind of, we basically really touched on, I think, the best way to enter the market. Well, maybe we could go into that a little bit more, but honestly, I just threw market cap in Chat GPT, and that's just basically what I'm gonna use to kind of, I guess, like what I'll use to explain it for me. So market cap is really just this is used to measure the total value of a cryptocurrency to the market. So basically, the market cap will let you know, quote unquote, what that crypto is worth overall. So basically, the market cap just takes the current price per coin and it multiplies that by the total circulating supply. So that's really what market cap is in terms of, like, I guess in layman terms, what it is, it's just like the market cap is going to be like a number you look at that you can compare to the market cap of Bitcoin to see like how much of the market it takes up. So, like, I'm not doing a good job of explaining it, but market cap's a number you could kind of look at to let you know what tier of crypto your coin is in, how many people are kind of using it, how much it's worth compared to the total market, and also it could kind of give you an indicator to let you know how much room to grow that token still has as well. So that's kind of like how I that's kind of like how I understand market cap.
I would like to throw in a website for the viewers out there. It's called marketcapof.com. And it basically shows you the price of A with the market cap of B. So, for an example, I can share my screen real quick just to kind of show you guys. Hope it let me do it. All right, so you can do. Let me see. What's this?
Actually, never seen it. I never seen this before, actually.
Man, I got all the sauce, bro.
It's
Let's
usually
do one. Let's do well, no, Doja meme coin. Give me a utility token outside of XRP. Let's do Chainlink.
A
Chainlink is
chain
a
link,
good one.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because they doing some
It's looking pretty
partnerships,
good in
right?
my portfolio
Right.
right now.
So this is what I do here because I personally think long term, right? I like to compare these to Bitcoin because Chainlink is basically connecting a lot of these tokens together as price oracles. You need the price data. So I'm gonna do like I said with Bitcoin, right? So at Bitcoin price right now, if Chainlink was to have the market cap of Bitcoin, this is how much we're looking at one share of um, Chainlink costing right now. Now, mind you, this is a long-term goal because they're going to be doing a lot of pricing. They're already planning into a lot of markets, especially emerging markets as well. So right now it's $26, right? So you get you $10 worth. You got your taxes. Oh, I put 19, my fault. You got your taxes, not financial advice, right? And it probably won't be $26 at that point. It might be 50, but you get you 10 shares of that, right? And you hold it long term, right? And you're thinking, all right, price of Bitcoin now with the market cap, you're looking at 121x. That's 31 shams, $1,000 potential gains. Once again, this is all speculation, but it kind of gives you an idea of where you're trying to head long term wise. This is strictly for long term purposes. No short term goals, no flipping and none of that. Long term.
so when you say long term, what's your
I'm
time?
talking 10 plus years. Like you trying to lead this stuff to your family members, your kids, your whoever. 10 plus years, 100 plus years from now, this number probably gonna be bypassed. That we won't even, money probably won't even be an option. We'd probably be all robots or some shit. I don't know. But this kind of is a nice, helpful tool to kind of give you an idea with the market cap. We do all time high. So like I said, just buying 5 shares of this stuff, man. Like you put things in perspective. Another one that I like to do, which ones I had told y'all about in the group? XC, right? These DeFi tokens, I like to compare them to ETH because I mean they're performed on there, right? So with ETH, let's just do the price of it now, right? That token that's currently worth, come on. Oh, I don't want to show me the now part. Hold on.
I mean, it's at all. It's the now is going to be the same basically.
Okay, yeah. So you see the price of this right here. We done broke the internet, y'all. I'm giving too much sauce. They say stop it, Charles. The price of this token right here, right? So just say you get your 1,000 of them tokens, right? Oh, there you go. Even better. But that's the market cap of Bitcoin. But you get the gist of it. So this is a nice little helpful tool to kind of help you with your long-term planning if you guys are going to enter the market. So I would just end that on that here.
I do think though, man. I do think also if you are going to do long term planning though, you do also just want to set. I would say that's comparing it to Bitcoin, comparing any coin to Bitcoin's market cap is literally like the best case scenario for any sort of coin you're looking at. Like the equivalent of what he just did in terms of stock market would be like looking at the stock of a company that sells like something in like the dollar store, of looking at like a small company like that and saying, I'm buying this company with hopes that it's going to grow to be the size of Amazon. Like, that's the comparison that he just did. So, like, just keep that in mind when you're doing your calculations or you're doing your targeting, that like not every coin is going to get to Bitcoin's market cap. Like that's the most optimistic, right? Just also when you're putting together your plan and kind of like do, make sure you, yeah.
You know, next time Charles just have to change his name down there to Mr. Optimistic. Hey man, look,
Hey,
I
it
agree.
got me
I
so
agree with
far in
some of
life.
the. Hey, look, Charles got my portfolio looking good, man. He put me on game to a lot of these tokens and coins. So I'm gonna
Hey,
just
he
say,
know. I ain't gonna lie, bro. He know.
he
He
know his
knows what
shit.
he
You
definitely.
feel me?
He do. He definitely does, bro. And I told you that, bro. I gave you your props. You definitely. I was looking through the group, but you optimistic. There's a plus side. There's a plus
Right, right.
side to both of the views, I think. So, and I think that's a really good balance to have, to be able to talk to people from, to be able to talk to people from somebody that is optimistic, but then to be able to talk to somebody that maybe is more pessimistic, because we're both still investing in the exact
Right.
same thing. That kind of, that definitely gives me things to think about, like talking to you. I'm like, maybe I do need to, think about this, think about that. So yeah, but you definitely was killing them picks, brother. I ain't gonna hold you, bro.
I'm telling you, next year gonna be lovely.
Hey man, to answer your question about Sui, I still haven't bought it. But
Come on, Jay. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
hey man, you told me at 80 cents, bro. That was a
I
4X, man.
did, and
I
then I
missed out on
told you
that. I ain't
again.
gonna
You was
lie.
like, I'm gonna wait till it dipped back to 120. It never touched 120.
Nah, it didn't. It's a sad
Get in
situation.
before 10, man. That's all I'm
But
gonna say. Get in before
if it's the
10.
next Solana, man, I'm definitely finna looking at my portfolio now. I'm definitely gonna do some liquidations and reinvest.
Speaking of that, before you liquidate anything, 'cause that's another thing. Before you rebalance, bro, see if you can pull some capital from somewhere else.
Right.
Because with the bull market coming up, like everything, something you might sell might take off, and it's
Now
chasing.
I've been looking at it. Me and my fiance, we both got crypto portfolios. There's some things that she got that I don't got, and vice versa. And I'm kind of like, man, I don't want to really just liquidate some of these coins. It's like some of these coins is like, for example, ICP. That guy has a crazy run it can do. Filecoin has a crazy run they can do, and I'm just like, okay, I want to put it back into like hyper concentrated like my top five, but at the same time, it's like I probably could be missing out on these gains once the altcoin run really do happen. So I don't,
True, true. And
trying
that's
to
why I
hold
say
out.
don't do that, man. Right, because I made the same mistake with render. Bro, I
Yeah,
had a big stupid bag of render before it ran off to how much render is like $10 now?
yeah,
Like
I
I
be seeing people talking
rotated
about render a
my
lot.
render bag like when Ready Player One came out and I found out that they're gonna be using render of some sort with Apple and all them partnerships and all this and the third and just the opportunity that it had. And I basically rotated my render bag out of that into something else. I forgot what it was. I'm looking back at my old ETH transactions, man, and I'm sitting here slapping myself like, why did you do that? But for
Yeah,
me, I'm a trial and error guy. I learn from my mistakes. I won't make the same mistake again. So if I can tell somebody, hey, don't do something, I fell in this hole over here. Be careful. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But you still, at the end of the day, like we said earlier, you still gonna do what you feel is best for you and your household. So I respect it. I'm just letting you know, hey, bro, I did that, something similar. I don't think you should do that because it might take off. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, you know what you're doing, bro. So that's all I'm saying. That's my warning, my
right,
testament.
right.
So yeah.
Okay, I guess the next thing might be the articles. I really got two articles that I've been looking at. Let's see, maybe I'll just read these two articles and kind of give my
Yeah, you can pull them up if you want to.
outlook
Share
on
'em.
it. All right, let's see. Okay, so this first article is from the Crypto Times.
Hmm.
Pulls up. Okay, here we go. Treasury labels Bitcoin as digital gold in the latest reports. we go into hyperinflation, we're gonna see tons of, and this is just my opinion, I think we're gonna see tons of institutional investors flooding into the crypto market just based off of this sentiment. I don't really want to read the whole thing. I was gonna read the whole thing, but it's another article on Yahoo Finance, and you got Jerome Powell. If anybody don't know who that is, he's the Fed chair,
Jerome in the
right?
house.
He said Bitcoin is like gold, it's just virtual and digital. So we know everything is digital. The majority of payment systems, payment methods, digital. He said people use Bitcoin as a speculative asset. It's like gold, it's just virtual and digital. It said over the last 5 years, the price of gold has increased approximately 83%. Bitcoin has surged back toward the psychological 100,000 per Bitcoin milestone after a wild swing. Another thing I was looking at, I pulled up the market cap of gold. The market cap of gold is $17 trillion. See what I'm saying? We just sitting at like 3.5 trillion in the crypto market. Even if the crypto market go to half of this, let's just round that market cap of 17.684 trillion to 18, and half of that is 9 trillion. So that'd be looking at like
Well, that's actually estimated. So that's not what it is now. That's like, if I'm pretty sure reading at that, right?
well, at the top it says as of September 2024,
Estimated.
gold market capitalization is estimated to be around 18 trillion. See what I'm saying? It said, which is about 16.6 of the world's GDP. So even if we get $9 trillion to flow into the crypto market, which with over whatever period of time, that could make people significant gains, depending on what cryptos they're in, whether it's Bitcoin, XRP. You got your ISO 222 tokens. Hey man, it's a lot of money about to come into this market. Is basically what I'm saying. And they comparing Bitcoin to digital gold. It is what it is. We moving into this digital era, and if you don't got some kind of exposure in crypto, it don't matter which coin or token, you're gonna be left behind. Period.
Your ass gonna be behind.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish I had a good article like you be having, bro. I'm not gonna lie. I don't even have time to be looking at these articles outside of I get my information real quick. So I mean YouTube be my information, but it be learning
That's
how to
where I
make
got this
money.
article from. I be on YouTube, man. I seen somebody pull it up on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Or
I
I was
got you.
watching somebody on YouTube, so it's kind of like I watch like a lot of YouTube videos and kind of like dive into these articles. Not so much. It was like I said, I only had like really two articles that was kind of correlating to what Jerome Powell was saying about Bitcoin being looked at as digital gold. So
Yeah. Well, I take that back. I just found the article that I would like to share, which also ties back into last week's episode. Do that real quick here.
Quick though, on Jay's article, the one thing that I want to say though is, I think you just kind of, for Bitcoin I do think Bitcoin will pass the market cap of gold in terms of a realistic time frame. And I only say that because because Bitcoin's going to finish mining in 2050. Gold, we still will not have mined the last ounce of gold after
Wait a minute,
we've
wait a minute, wait a
gotten
minute,
the
wait a
last.
minute. Say that again.
I got my date wrong, but I got my date wrong. My
I
bad.
say 2050, like 2150.
So 20. So my bad. Yeah, that's what I meant. So we'll mine the last Bitcoin 2150. We'll probably still be mining for gold at that point, right? Like there's still going to be gold reserves that we'll still be looking for, still be able to tap into. You never know. Maybe we get some technological breakthrough and we mine all the gold.
And turn into
But
vibranium.
hey, you never know, man. Could find another precious metal.
man, we
Right.
might find gold on another
But if
planet.
it
We ain't gonna go there.
That's true too. So yeah, we so I do think because the supply of Bitcoin is a little more controlled and easier to target than gold is. Or not the supply, but well, yeah, the supply. I do think that the market cap of Bitcoin will eventually flip gold. Don't know when that's gonna be. Probably would be after Bitcoin finishes minting, but eventually I do think that that will come to happen. So like that's definitely super long term. That's like nothing that probably would happen in our lifetimes. But Bitcoin is already by market cap. Just so everybody knows, Bitcoin's already the eighth largest asset by market cap currently. So it's it's definitely already up there.
For sure. That's why I said don't sell your Bitcoin, just hold on to it. But long term.
I'm trying, brother.
I understand.
Look,
I
hey
am
man, it's that
trying,
market
man.
psychology.
I'm
You see,
trying
you
my
see that
best.
money in that account, you like, it's time to sell.
Need to go buy me some Gucci flip flops.
The whole thing, bro. That's why the decision is so tough, bro. That's why I'm struggling with it because it's like the way that I could use. It's like the way that I would be able to use the money that's in there. I'm like, bro, I know for sure I could flip this into something to bring me some cash flow. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, if I just hold on to this for 20 years, I'm set. So
Right. That's
it's
why I mentioned a
yeah.
loan, bro. You take a small loan out to do what you're gonna do with that cash flow. That way you're not liquidating your exposure. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's just too volatile. So when we first connected, I looked into because I asked you about that a long time ago. Like when we first connected, and I looked into the loans, bro, and they're subject to market changes,
Like any
and that's
loan.
well, no, not really, bro, because most loans aren't based off that. They're just based off what you already have, your credit. They're not based off the market value of something. There's not a lot of loans that are based off the value of something that's volatile. Like, if you get a personal loan, it's just based off your credit. Even if your credit drops and you take a personal loan, it's not going to change the terms of the loan that you already have. You're still going to have to pay the same percentage interest rate no matter what once you get approved for the loan and take out the loan. That's just not how all the loans that are currently structured for Bitcoin work. Now, eventually, once we get more into like the institutions and stuff, they will start creating these more controlled loans of Bitcoin, I think, that are backed by something. So maybe you don't necessarily have to worry. Once like the price stabilizes and it isn't as volatile, you don't have to worry about, oh man, Bitcoin dropped, you know what I'm saying, 10, 20%. Now the price that I gotta pay on my loan monthly just jumped up to boom.
Yeah, I got you. So let me ask you this question here because I remember what you said when you asked about the loans and stuff like that. But what did
hmm
you end up finding?
Couldn't really I didn't I looked a couple times. I didn't look super hard.
Got you.
Basically, so honestly, I maybe just didn't look harder. You've probably looked harder than I have
I got you.
for
Right. So what I was going to tell you in regards to that, because I was on after the episode, I was going to tell you some other places to look where the loan APYs don't change. They're consistent across the board. So your payment's not going to fluctuate. And then in the time of with taking advantage of the market sentiment at the time, your LTV decreases. So you're actually paying that money back while still holding most of your assets for the most part. And that's going to be more DeFi. That's more like an advanced play that's going on right now. So I'm actually currently working on a cash flow strategy now with liquidity pools and borrowing and lending and that looping a pattern. Those who know, that's how a lot of these people are making money in ETH, especially on the Ethereum network because the gas fees are atrocious. But Base is the place if you're trying to get into liquidity pools. I'll just say that, leave it at that. That's all I wanted to say, man. So you could go and do your other ventures. That's all I'm saying. That's just trying to help you out, brother.
we'll get up. Yeah. We could talk about that for sure.
Yeah. But speaking of Coinbase, this article I wanted to share to kind of go back to what happened to you the other
Not
day.
Coinbase.
Yeah. So,
No Coinbase.
right. This
That
article
is a good
here.
article because there's probably gonna
Cool.
be some people that use Coinbase too.
Right. I mean, it's easy to get on. I'm not going to lie, but they do have their issues just like everything else. So, Coinbase Fund Access block and the users demand resolution. So I'm not going to read this article, but basically what tends to happen with Coinbase once you get on these markets, when the market is pumping and people are trying to sell and rotate and rebalance their portfolio, Coinbase is notorious for their website going down. What people fail to realize on the back end of everything, a lot of these companies globally, well, at least in the United States, run off of Amazon servers, AWS. So when those servers get overloaded, you have account restrictions going on. So that's why, Jay and I was telling you, amongst the other viewers in the last episode, hey, once you buy your crypto on this exchange, take it off. Send it immediately off of the exchange so issues like this won't happen or issues like yours won't happen. Because as you can tell from personal experience, trying to get in touch with a live human being is damn near non-existent.
That's
So
crazy, bro.
right. So basically, like I said, if this is just reiterating what we told you guys last episode, and then Brandon can, attest from his own personal experience. If you're getting on these exchanges, do not leave your funds on these exchanges, because once everybody starts making too much money, they're going to start hosting quote unquote cyber hacks and everything else, so you don't get paid out. So we just giving you guys a heads up, this far off on the deep end, down the rabbit hole, all that in the third. But I'd rather you be safe than sorry. Like I said, you don't go and take your money to the bank and give it to the teller, and the teller tell you, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna put it in there later on." You be like, "Hell no, put my money in my account right now." You know what I'm saying? So take that same approach when you're on these exchanges. Put your money into your cold wallet. Put your money into your hot wallet. Transfer it over into your account. Don't leave the money on the table, or it's up for grabs. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah.
No keys, no crypto.
Or as Bitcoin, as they say, no keys, no cheese.
For real.
Man, whatever happened to him? I don't be seeing him on Twitter as much. Maybe I ain't looking hard enough. But yeah, that's my article for the day. My contribution.
You know, I didn't. I like both of y'all articles.
Yeah, bro. Anything else you want to share, Jay?
No, man, I'm just, like I said, I'm going to be doing some rebalancing. If I do rebalance, like you said, I don't think I'm going to I'm going to sell all my coins or token, whichever ones I decide to rebalance. That way I still have some exposure in that particular coin or token. But I'm definitely going to be doing some rebalancing and hyper focusing on my top 5 holdings. So that's what I'm
Gotcha.
looking at.
Okay. And then speaking of holdings, for all the new investors out there, I'm gonna tell you this from personal experience. Pick a safe number of different cryptos to invest in. Start off small. I would say anywhere from 5 to 7. Research those thoroughly. If they have a use case that can solve a real world problem, then it's probably a strong bet. I kind of take that approach from Warren Buffett and other stock investors. If it solves a problem, that's something I need to look into. And the reason I'm mentioning this is we're about to show you guys the top 10 cryptos that's basically pumping right now. Well, I wouldn't say pumping, but are available right now. These always change as new tokens come out, market caps change. So I'll just pull this up real quick for you guys to see at home which tokens are being in the top 10. We're not really going to explain the top 10, but these are some nice heavy hitters. A few of these has been in the top 10 for years. I like the top 3 for a while. The Cardano dropped as well. But I would say the OGs would definitely be Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Cardano, and Tron. I'm kind of shocked to see Tron come back up. I'm personally not a fan of Tron because I think Justin Sun pumps his own bags a lot, similar to how CZ did with BNB, but that's just my opinion. So I know people who invest heavily into Tron. Tron just not my cup of juice personally, because like I said, I think a lot of his stuff is inflated by his own net worth, but I could be wrong.
You don't think the XR you don't think XRP CEO be you don't think he be pumping up XRP?
Nah, bro, not to the extent that they want to,
What you
because
mean?
no, because
This boy was on 60 Minutes the last 2 bull cycles, bro.
right. They pay him
Man,
to do that, like you said. They pay him to say this stuff. Justin Sun is a rogue CEO basically. He does what he want to do. So he makes his own moves. He's not under scrutiny when it comes to crypto Twitter. If you on crypto Twitter, they stay on. Brad asked about a lot of stuff and Joel Schwartz about a lot of stuff. So one thing I can say is XRP got a lot of people that hold the community and the CEOs accountable. When they was what's the other dude that they had cashed out? Jed. When he had his XRP from escrow, they were on Ripple's ass about, hey, hurry up and cash this guy out so we can get back to regular programming. So yeah, they're pretty much adamant about getting shit done, bro. That's why they won the case. Like, that's all I'm gonna
Hey, I
say
seen
about that.
somebody was saying, I don't know, I think this is a XRP group I'm in. They was like, name any other like crypto company besides Ripple. What is it? Other crypto companies that the SEC has went against, but hey, Ripple been holding their own, and they finna get this case dismissed ultimately. So it's kind of like, what other crypto companies that's really doing that? How Gary Gensler was going against everybody with these enforcement actions and trying to take everybody down, but they couldn't take Ripple down, surprisingly.
Just saying, you know, you got that hush hush money. Do y'all want to talk about any other of these tokens on here y'all might like? I know Solana's pumping because of Phantom. A shout out to Phantom because they finna bring Stewie on. That's my sleeper ecosystem that I am pumping my bags on. Not gonna lie, but
I
shout
just
out to
give
Solana.
I just give some of the holdings in the top 10 that I'm holding. So small bag of Ethereum, XRP, of course, Solana, and Cardano. So what is that? One, two, three, four out of the top 10. Yeah, a little bit of Dogecoin. Well, no, I think that's sheep. My bad, not Dogecoin. Everybody, I was just explaining to my fiance how you were saying, man, like trying to get everybody into these meme coins and thinking that's the thing to
Right.
do. You got no utility, and a few people gonna make money. A lot of people are gonna get rug pulled, and that's how the people at the top is gonna keep on filling their bags. Um, you get into meme coins, get in and out.
I mean, for me, I mean, the only token that I hold a significant amount of in the top 10 is Bitcoin. That's basically the majority of my crypto bag. The only other token on here that I think, I mean, I have an alt bag that I hold, but that's basically, I mean, my whole strategy when I started messing with crypto was to pick the least volatile token. Because I didn't want to have to,
So
personally,
you
I just
pick
didn't want
Bitcoin.
to. It's the least volatile token. I mean, it's yeah. so, so I did.
We back to
But yeah,
100K.
so hey, yeah. So I mean, that's basically the biggest. I mean, that's the only token that I hold in the top 10. Is Bitcoin. If I do, I would look. If I did diversify into some other tokens, I'd probably look to diversify into
XRP.
BNB. Well,
Right.
I would probably do Binance's token for sure, because if we're thinking about crypto just in general, like really turning to a retail market, Binance is like one of the bigger platforms that people use for crypto. So I would so number one, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a Binance token in this bull run in the alt season go above 900 personally.
Of course.
But that would be a token that I would mess with. Probably Ethereum as well. Uh, I mean, really, honestly, just about anything. Solana is Solana's hot. I don't necessarily know if I want to put my money there because it's hot and it's trendy, and I feel the same way about XRP. XRP's hot and it's trendy. They came off the case. CEO was on 60 Minutes. That type of stuff. I don't like to touch things like that. I would rather touch things that aren't trending or that aren't in the news. So I would probably do Ethereum, Binance, and I don't really know. Tron's network is like, I don't know. Tron's network is just kind of there to me. It's just kind of been there for some time. But the one thing I will say about Tron is it's been around for some time and it's an OG. I mean, all the tokens in the top 10 are OGs though. But that's primarily what I would probably look to do would be to do Binance. To be honest.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I hold everything in the top 10. Basically, I've been just kind of spreading the wealth everywhere. But for the most part, I hold a little bit of everything in the top 10, hell, even in the top 11. Been in this market for quite a long time. I've seen a lot of things come and go. So to see the first three stand the test of time kind of solidifies my conviction. Dogecoin is cool and all, but like I said, with Elon taking over, Trump taking over, I think that's going to be a strong community coin, well, a much stronger community coin than it once from its initial purpose. Cardano, I mean, as far as the guy that made it, his name is Charles Hoskins or whatever his name is. I think he's doing some work over there in Africa, basically helping them with their system. Now I don't know exactly what they're doing. He kind of piggybacks off these other cryptos, so I look at Cardano like the little brother that kind of tags along. You know, whoever is going to help me get to the grocery store, that's who I'm riding for. He done talk shit about a lot of these tokens at one point in time, and now he's like, well, let's get together. So Cardano's cool. I know back in the day, a lot of people was riding on Cardano being the top two of crypto for real, for real. Like I think Cardano's very undervalued, but also too because of the ecosystem and the network turnaround time when it comes to upgrades and updates to the blockchain. They kind of fell by the wayside to this number eight position. And I think it's only here because of said partnerships with Africa, whatever projects that they do have conjuring up over there. BNB, I can definitely see. I really don't do price targets, but just pulling a number here out of hat, I probably see BNB maybe doing about on the high end, maybe 2K as far as price point goes. Solana definitely gonna hit anywhere from 700 to 1,000 just because of all the transactions that have been going on with Solana. A Dogecoin, it's up in the air if I'm being honest with you guys because of Twitter. Depending on how Elon spends it, because he basically pumps that coin anytime he tweeted about it. Tron, I gave my sentiments on that earlier. Like I said, I think it's just a billionaire come up with his own billionaire coin and he just makes it pumps and dumps when he wants to. Ethereum is like Netscape of crypto. They're OGs. A lot of big money is making their bread and butter from Ethereum. That's why the gas fees are so high. If you like to research, check out ETHgate. That'll kind of open your eyes to why a lot of people don't fool with Ethereum as far as on the Ethereum network. And we have a lot of these layer twos now that utilize Ethereum because Ethereum as a layer one gas fees are atrocious. You guys know how I feel about XRP. Tether is another one. If you are trading and you're going back into stables, I'm going to just say be cautious. Don't put all of your assets into USTD simply because their reserves are not guaranteed. They tell you all the time that it's backed by stuff, but same thing that FTX said before they rug pull people. So just proceed with caution. Like I said, crypto Twitter has been on USTD for the longest, and they always got to prove that they have the funds that they are printing out. But they print out billions of dollars on Ethereum like clockwork every time. USDC is a little bit more stable than USTD because they're actually going through the process of getting the right um, what's the word regulations and paperwork and all that other stuff. So we could see USDC probably take over USTD maybe 5 years from now. It all depends on the emerging markets. And did I touch on all of them? Yeah, and then Bitcoin, like I said, is granddaddy, or as Jay called it, Big Bertha.
Big Bertha.
Bitcoin ain't going nowhere. So that's just my quick sentiments of the top 10 and what I'm invested in. So yeah.
And I mean, honestly, if you're just getting into crypto, realistically, I don't really think you could go wrong with picking anything in the top 10. I mean, all of these coins have been around. All of those coins have been around for quite some time, and they're none of. I don't really don't think any of the coins in the top 10, even if they maybe do drop out of the top 10, for the most part, they're all probably still going to be relevant for a little bit of time. So, if you're looking somewhere to start, that would probably be, if you wanted to go with a big coin, one of the coins in the top 10 would be one of the good large market cap coins to start off. But I mean, I don't know if you guys want to touch on any. I mean, we're already doing it, so I don't know if y'all want to touch on any like altcoins that maybe if somebody's looking to maximize profits or something like. Well, what altcoins are you guys looking at? Or just give me like maybe one. Maybe we'll just do the pick thing. I don't know. We don't have to. I know I said we wasn't gonna do it, bro. We can say that for our next episode, though.
I
So
got you. I'll just tell people two of them if I'm being, or three of them if I'm being conservative. That's going to have a lot of upside and they're considered blue chips. Chainlink is one. Look into H bar. They have a lot of institution. That's basically institution coin. I'm gonna be biased and say Sui. They're coming out with a gaming system. In the next couple months, they're gonna be doing the same play that Solana did. Fun fact about Sui, the team that created the Meta Libra coin, they had to stop because, like I said, with Congress and Mark Zuckerberg having it out, he is the reason why Meta doesn't have their own cryptocurrency because he was ahead of the game with a lot of this, and they kind of pressed stop on that because of all the privacy violations and data selling and stuff. So that team got dismantled, and then they created Sui and Aptos. But Sui is the one that they're been gaining the most traction so far compared to Aptos, which is down here somewhere, you know. And they're basically a big competitor to Solana. And that's why I said with Phantom Wallet coming out and integrating with the Sui network, we're going to start seeing a lot of this trading volume from meme coins go over to Sui. So, and the Sui meme coins are very undervalued right now. So if you miss out on the Solana coins because it's very saturated, I would suggest looking into the Sui ecosystem for some meme coins if you like to gamble. That's all I'm going to say.
the only, really the only, I would say the only other token that I have like a significant investment in outside of Bitcoin, which it's kind of not necessarily unfortunate at this point, but I can't utilize it the way I used to. Is KCS. So that's KuCoin's native token. And I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it to people. That's just the coin that I built up a bag in. At the time when I started building up my bag at KCS, you could still stake on KuCoin's network and get passive rewards for KuCoin. This works the same way that Binance Coin works. So basically, I just built up a bag of KuCoin. I was just doing weekly buys and I was staking the KuCoin that I had to earn me more KuCoin passively. Reason why I say it may not necessarily. I still believe in the coin and I still have my bag and I will continue to hold my bag because I do think that it could have the potential to do what Binance did. But in terms of getting into KuCoin now, because of regulations, you can't stake on KuCoin's network anymore. So it's just not, it's a little bit harder to hold now. But I would say that KuCoin's still pretty undervalued. Its ATH is like $28 right now. It's sitting at 13 like 50 or something like that. And I wouldn't be surprised if we did see KuCoin get up to maybe 50ish range in this run. So yeah, that's the only other coin that I really have a significant bag in. For me personally, outside of a Bitcoin, I have some other coins that I dabble in, have like, a few $100s in, but with substantial stake elsewhere.
What about you, Jay?
Kind of gave my like breakdown. I'm gonna just say, man, XRP is like 60% of my portfolio. So it's kind of like I'm not betting it all on XRP, but I got a strong conviction with XRP. Let's just say my top three probably be XRP, Chainlink, and XLM. I'm trying to stick more towards the ISO 222 side when it comes to my main holdings. So that's kind of what I'm looking at, man. I got a few other coins that I'm holding, but those like my main.
What percentage of your portfolio is XRP, Charles?
Man,
Is it a lot?
which so let me ask you which portfolio?
Wow,
And I'm just talking about your full
crypto
portfolio.
capitalists.
Never mind. I just mean crypto. I'm not talking about like stock and stuff too.
Oh, I got you. Um, I would say around about 50%. Yeah. I had to move around to some other alts to kind of play catch up to the number that I want to get to. So, well, yeah, about 50. I've learned that you take the alts and then you buy what you really want with it because they have the most upside. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I see any ones that people might look into. Because people be looking at some weird crypto. It's like, hey man, what you think about this? And then they come tell me some shit I ain't never heard of. And then I go research and I was like, that's nice. And it's like, is it a
Man,
good
what
one? I'm like,
what do y'all think
I'm
about
like, yeah,
Litecoin, man? Because it's been floating under the radar. Like
God,
I
it's
mean,
kind of like I know somebody personally. They was like, man. I asked them like what kind of crypto are they into, and they was like, man, the only thing I'm buying is Litecoin. I think that was kind of like maybe earlier this year, maybe last year or something like that.
it's like Litecoin and BSV. Those coins are just from where they're at now. They're just basically only gonna go down the
agreed.
chain. Yeah, those are like old coins that in like a couple of cycles ago were kind of like the it coins, and just realistically
Kind of
now,
like
bro, there's
old relics.
just
Huh?
Yeah,
yeah, that's exactly what they are, bro. Like, so,
That's what I was
if you're
thinking.
putting your yeah, you don't want to be putting your money in like LTC or BSV or those type of tokens at this point, to be honest.
yeah. They even came out on Twitter a few weeks back and said get some traction. I think
That's
the
crazy.
CTO, I think I forgot what happened to the guy. Name was Charlie something. I don't know if he retired, he left the community or something. But once he left, Litecoin kind of went down because they were comparing Litecoin to silver, and they even thought that it was going to be pegged to silver at one point. And it's just around. I mean, just like Bitcoin Cash is around. You know, I forgot I had some of that, so I went to one of my old wallets. I said, "Oh, I got some Bitcoin Cash here," and it's like, "Oh, okay, whatever." So
The
most
one
people,
thing that I
yeah.
my bad.
Oh no, 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 you good, you good.
The one thing that I have noticed about Litecoin though is typically before Bitcoin runs, Litecoin will run first. That's one thing that I have noticed about the market
Yeah,
is when you if Litecoin is going on like ripping like 10-15%, you could kind of expect Bitcoin to go on a run because most of them people that are OG holders or whatever, they'll just take that money out of LTC, funnel it into Bitcoin.
very true. You
Yeah,
guys, I
people
mean,
is thousands of crypto. Take your pick.
be smart, wise. I will say for those who are watching the narratives that's going to be this cycle outside of meme coins is going to be real world assets, AI, and DPIN. DPIN is very slept on. It's a lot of these automatic tokens like I mean Filecoin. Jay mentioned that earlier. Theta, which is a throwback, is an OG for sure. Helium. I hold some of this. Well, actually, the mobile token. I have my cell phone with them. I pay $20 a month, and it's not even me paying them. They basically run a node on my phone, and I collect the tokens. This airdrop to me, and I use those tokens to pay my monthly phone bill. So I'm saving myself. I had Verizon paying like 280 for 5 lines, and I mean I'm saving money on the back line, on the back end. So I switched my whole family over to Helium Mobile basically for $20 a month. Man,
Family man lifestyle.
hey, I'm trying to tell you, bro. One
Not about
project
how
that I
much you
am
make, it's
in,
how much you keep.
uh, that part. Grass is one. You see the token right here. I'm mining this. They got another. They say season two of this or whatever, so you can still get in. And basically, they just run stuff on the computer in the background that you don't even know and get points. They gave me an airdrop. I think like $300 worth was the airdrop now, or some sort. It's probably like 200 some now, but um, I didn't do anything. Like I said, I set most of the stuff here and just forget it and just let it accumulate. But DPen is definitely going to be a narrative that's going to start taking off this cycle as well. So that's just my tidbit to you guys who are getting invested. Utilize these categories when you're doing your research. Make sure that they solve a real world problem and kind of go in from there. And then I know the last episode we talked about real estate and tokenized shares and stuff like that. So that's where the RWAs come into hand. I mean, Undo's going to do numbers. They just put one of their boys in the SEC. The dude that got elected for the new SEC chairman, he's on the board of Undo. So it's a
Mm.
lot of money that's going to be made with this one. I put this in my own little private group as well. This is a sleeper. Get in while you can. Not financial advice. The Quant is ISO 222 token. XTC is my side chick to XRP. RSR that came back. It caught me off guard. Kind of messed myself out of that one because I had the old legacy tokens, but I can't switch them over now because whatever reason.
Crazy. That went crazy last run. Now that I think about it. Not last bull run, but a couple of years ago, RSR was
Yeah,
RSR, bro.
yeah, it was. They rebranded and now they're on base. So I got a bunch of old legacy tokens that I can't convert over yet, and it's just been a hassle, bro.
V, you passed up VT. He has a very strong community. V Chain.
Man, yeah,
They
for
have a
sure.
great. They have an excellent. That's a token that sticks out to me because they have a really strong community. Like crypto Twitter, they're extremely strong on
Yeah.
crypto Twitter.
If you have any QR codes in your clothes, you can thank VChain for that. That's all I'm going to say. We talked about that in the last episode as well. VChain is definitely a sleeper, very undervalued. I say VChain probably makes up a good 20% of my portfolio as well. I definitely got to get some more of that as well. I used to be top heavy in VChain, but it was supposed to go off last cycle. It didn't do like I wanted to. It kind of stayed under the radar, so I kind of rotated it out. But yeah, a lot of these coins too may not be available in our area because of the strict guidelines the United States has. So if you find yourself not being in a lot of these tokens, don't beat yourself about it. Just kind of find ones that you do have access to, like Property with the real estate. It's a good one. Has so much upside as well. I got a good portion of that as well in there. But yeah, that's like I said. If you're new to the game, tap in with one of us, and we'll see you on your way.
Yeah, I'm more so for the. I mean, I'm for the crypto too, but my I run pretty deep with the I run pretty deep with the stocks. So
Yeah,
if anybody wants to tap in on some stock stuff, I could definitely kind of go through stock portfolios and stuff like that. That's I would say about close to about 50% of my investments. It's pretty even split between crypto and well actually it's not. It's like 60-40 crypto and
Okay,
40% stuff.
so let's see. What do you have as far as stocks like top two
yeah. Let me
holdings?
get my pen out because I need to rotate some of these crypto earnings.
Well,
I
let's
share with
see.
y'all my top two holdings as well. Or let's just say top three.
We talking about what I actually hold and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, most of it. So also just a disclaimer, most of the stock that I accumulated was at the start of 2023, well, all throughout 2023. So I started really accumulating stocks pretty heavily at the start of 2023, and a lot of the things that I was getting were pretty down then. But so Tesla makes up about 40% of my portfolio stock market. Um, Coinbase makes up the next 30% of my portfolio stock market. 10% 10% Amazon, 6% Meta, 5%. Then I have 5% Match Group. In terms of what I've actually been buying now, so like the Meta, Amazon, Coinbase, Tesla, those are all that period that I was mentioning, that accumulation period at the start of like 2023. What I've recently been buying, so recently was buying Disney, Nike, and Match Group. Nike, I told me and you talked about Nike at one point. So Nike on the year is down 30%. I just don't necessarily think Nike's going anywhere personally. So I was like, and that might be right or wrong. So these are like high risk kind of plays, but I don't really think Nike's going anywhere. I kind of have faith in that brand in general. So that's something that I've started to put some money into. Of course, Disney, you know, when I started messing with Disney, like if you look at Disney earlier this year compared to what it is now, like it's gone up and gained in the last month or two. But Disney was down about 30% as well earlier this year when I started investing in Disney. So, like, let me see what my position is actually, matter of fact. So, my average price of a Disney buy-in is $91. It's at 116 now. So, it's only up 30% for the year. Disney's just they just buy everything. If you can't beat them, if you beating Disney, they just gonna buy you out. Like I mean,
I don't have the numbers percentage wise in front of me, but I will give y'all my top three holdings, which are Nvidia, Apple, and VOO. And if anybody don't know what VOO is, it's like BlackRock. They manage assets, so they're like one of the top asset managers around here. ETFs is basically a collection of different stocks. So that's Nvidia, Apple, and VOO. Got a little bit of Amazon, a little bit of SPY ETF, so S&P 500 ETF, and then I have DraftKings and NIO. NIO made a run in, I think it was 2020. Like I think it was the COVID run. There's a electric car company in China that's trying to rival Tesla. What they're trying to do, they're trying to focus on like more affordable EVs. So it's it.
they're not trying to rival Tesla. They trying to rival all the electric cars in China.
Hey,
Tesla not even putting up a fight in China, to be real with you, bro.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just part of my holdings, man.
I got some NIO
It's
too
it's
though.
that it's down, but hey,
NIO been
innovation.
let NIO been letting me down big time, bro.
We can.
I've been holding NIO for a while, bro.
Yeah, yeah.
They've been
I
letting
don't
me
have a
down
large
big
position in
time.
it, but
Me neither.
my large positions is in Nvidia, Apple, VOO. Nvidia is gonna be around for the next 10 years. Apple is gonna be around for the next 10 years. So if you're looking for some long-term holds, not financial advice.
Yeah, and I think my biggest, kind of like my biggest, and I probably talked, I think I talked about this episode one, but I guess on the stock market, my biggest, like I guess we'll say riskiest play is Match Group. So that's the group that owns like Hinge, Tinder, blah blah blah, all of those companies. Just because I do think that at some point they're going to have to try to make a jump into virtual reality. And I do think when they make that jump into virtual reality, they're going to see their user base explode. They're going to see people return back to their accounts and blah, 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 people buying stuff again. And I do think at that point, if you buy in now, it'll be a real easy sell at that point. So that's essentially what I'm kind of banking on. It's not like something that I believe in just forever because they've done a really bad job. They're like not necessarily the greatest company and they haven't done a good job managing their apps, I don't think. But I do think that once they incorporate virtual reality into what they're doing, that they will see a jump in their user base. And that's really kind of been one of the main issues with all those companies as a whole is their user base has been declining, the paid subscription accounts have been declining, number of bot profiles have been on the rise. So of course that affects the overall value of all of those accounts because nobody really
People want to
talks about.
find real love.
Well, it's just not fun anymore, bro. The novelty has kind of worn off, right? When Tinder and that stuff first came out, like, bro, remember when Tinder? You remember when Tinder first came out, bro? Like that was like
Swipe left.
it was it, bro. It was it when it first came out. Everybody had it, bro. Like real talk, and it didn't seem tacky. But now it's just like, you know what I'm saying? They didn't do a good job managing it. So I do just think it's a value buy. I would basically consider it like almost a penny stock buy. I think it could run up. Like basically, it's at $32 now, and if you want to scan it out and go to an all-time high, its all-time high is sitting at 139. So could be a good play,
That's kind
whatever.
of like your wild card stock play.
Yeah, yeah, that's my wild card for sure. I mean, Tesla what well Tesla was, but it's not a wild card anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But Tesla was for sure. That's why my bag for Tesla's so big because like a lot of people, even if you get on the internet now, they still compare Tesla to a car company. They compare it to Ford and blah blah blah, but Tesla's not a car company. If you just look at literally Elon's whole career, things he's put together, I mean, this dude literally will just make something, try it, see if it works, and if it works, he'll keep making it. The car just happens to be one thing this dude made that took off and worked, and now they sell cars. Tesla's not a car company, though. It's just one of the products that they make. He has a ton of other things, you know what I'm saying? Like they fit batteries on houses, they do solar panels on houses, they do obviously their space program, which is slated potentially to replace NASA because they're better than NASA when it comes to the space program. Starlink, which if you guys aren't familiar, Starlink is a series
Yeah.
of mesh satellites that create internet access to people that wouldn't traditionally have access to internet that live in rural areas. So he's ahead of Amazon. Like Amazon's trying to build a competitor to Starlink. So like Tesla as a whole is leading in a lot of different categories for a business. And to me, it's just kind of unheard of to see like a company in that many different categories and sectors be relevant. So I do still think Tesla is like crazy to say, but I do still think Tesla's undervalued as a company. But yeah, that's like really the one stock that I feel very, very strongly about that I still think has a lot of room to grow, and it's easy to buy Tesla because Elon's gonna say something stupid, the price is gonna drop, and the news just hates him as a whole, bro. Like the news hates him as a whole,
Yeah.
so it's gonna drop due to him. So it's really easy to buy Tesla on dips, honestly. But yeah, that's my stock.
To speak of with Starlink, check out Space Chain. It's not a stock; it's a crypto. It has direct ties with Space Link and everything else. If you go down that rabbit hole, Brandon, check out Space Chain.
It's tied to Starlink.
Yeah, in its own way. You got to go through a lot of hoops and hurdles to kind of get to that conclusion, but the writing is on the wall with that. But it's on the Ethereum blockchain. As far as stock holdings go, I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I had started my investment journey with stocks. It wasn't too good. I didn't get the returns like I did with crypto, so I keep my stock portfolio simple. The only two stocks that I have is VTI, which is an index fund, and VBR, which is an index fund for real estate. And I don't have much into it. My goal is to rotate a lot of my money from crypto into
Not the
those
yacht
index
money.
fund, yeah, into those. So I'm always earning dividends on that. I'm just gonna keep it simple because trying to research as many different stocks, I mean, that's the same energy that I'm putting into crypto right now. And like I said, I'm be honest, like at the moment, I don't have that type of stock money that I would like to have while I'm earning dividends. So that's why later on, get with you, Brandon, when it comes to that stock, because I got to pivot back into that once I get my yacht money, get that $500 that you're going to owe me in my Bitcoin from that XRP.
All right, hey man, we gonna see. We gonna see.